So it is the end of August, we're coming to the start of September, and it is a time that brings a lot of transitions, a lot of changes, regardless of whether you are a school teacher, whether you have school going kids, whether you have no kids at all. If it's whether you're going to the office, whether you're not going to the office, there's a change in weather, there's a change in the evenings getting shorter, there's a change in the traffic increasing. It's always this kind of flux and change that happens. Have you noticed how along with this, there's an apprehension about that flux and change? So be it that kind of back to school feeling in your gut, be it that excitement about getting back into routine, be it that I can't believe it, but I heard someone use the C word yesterday, and it's not the bad word, it's the like one with the decorations and the big red man word. And they were talking about how already. So whatever it is that we're looking to move to and we're looking to move from, this is a real time to see if we can pause and take a second. And so in a minute, I'm going to do a practice with us that you can use every day for the next couple of weeks to support you through this transition. And it's the exact same we find in class where the transitions come, that's where the sticky bits come. So if you're in down dog and you're trying to lift your leg through into a lunge, where our hip, if we have a little bit of tightness in our hip, it shows up in the transitions. If we're on the ground and we're trying to roll around onto all fours, it's where we become chunky. So once we're in a routine, once we're on all fours, we're able to rock out our cat-cow, but getting into all fours, either from up to down or from down to up to all fours, that's where it kind of shows up. And it's the exact same in our lives, where we kind of get a little bit stuck, a little bit, the sticky bits all show up around these times of transition. And so what is the practice that we're going to do? Well, basically it's going to be square breath. So people who know the square breath or the 4x4 breath, we're going to do the 4x4 breath. That's what we're going to do on a physical level, is the 4x4 breath, but what we're going to layer up on top of that is this idea of transitions. And the first stage of it is to receive in, to take in our first count of 4, our first breath, we're going to take in all of the things that we are attached to about whatever it is that we're leaving. Now that sounded a bit like double Dutch. If you had a great summer, then what I want you to do is bring into mind the memories of your holidays, or of the beach, or of the sunny days, or the time with the kids, or the time just reading your book, or whatever it is that you were attached to about the summer. Equally, if you've had a tough time and if you're transitioning out of a tough time, notice that you're still attached to that. So you could be attached to and afraid to let go of the difficult times as well, because we come into uncertainty. So this time last year, for me, it was quite a tough summer that we had. I had a lot of illness in our family. My son was leaving for Australia. There was a lot of transitions that were kind of negative, and I was holding on for dear life. So I was still quite attached to. I was attached to my pain and my sadness that my son was leaving. I was attached to my fear around my family members that were sick, around the different illnesses that were present, about the lack of diagnosis, all of the different things that I was holding on tight to. So in the first step, we're going to call in what we are attached to. So that could be good or bad. That's a whole other debate about whether there is such a thing as good or bad, but just we're going to bring that in. The second round then, so we're going to bring that in and then we're going to let that go. The second round is when we are going to bring in its opposite. So whatever our memory is, there is also the opposite is present. So I love playing with this idea of opposites. Have you ever had someone that you loved dearly and they annoyed the bejesus out of you? So you were angry with them and you loved them. Both were true at the same time. But if you focus on the anger, you can't really access the love. On the other hand, if you're completely besottedly in love with them, you don't notice that they also have irritating habits. Yeah? Remember back when you were falling in love? If you have kids, you're experiencing it regularly, you know. So equally, if you've had this fantastic summer that you really are trying to hold on to for dear life, I want you to let in some of the opposites. So some of the, whatever the opposite is, if it's coming from the place of view of fear or things that you're holding on to, that where you're kind of thinking, oh, it was a terrible summer because, you know, my son left Australia, whatever. Also call in the opposite. So even though I was very sad he was leaving, also present was some lovely dinners that we had together, or with some great memories that we had, you know, or excitement for him because he's gone off on an adventure. So there was also the opposites. So our second round of 4x4 breath, we're going to call in the opposites. And I'm going to refer to it as the opposite because I don't know how you're using this practice. So it'll be bringing in the opposite. So if you had a fantastic summer, bring in some space for the opposite. And if you've had a terrible summer, bring in some space for the opposite. That's round 2. When we get to round 3, then we're going to look for expectation. So that is when we spend all of this time looking forward. So you'll notice that when we're in this like knot about what is going to happen, we have all of these expectations. If you've got little kids, maybe you're worrying about the fact that homework is going to be an issue. If you've got big kids, maybe you're worrying about something else. If you've got partners, cats, dogs, whatever, notice how you have an expectation. Now that expectation could be good or bad. Again, is there such a thing as good or bad? It could be that you're going to enjoy the rhythm, or it could be that you're going to get really busy, or it could be that you're going to get, but who knows? So whatever the expectation is, whatever the unthought thinking is that you're holding in your body, language it, let it come forward. So welcome in the expectation, whatever those expectations are. That's round 3. We welcome them in, we hold them, we let them go. Round 4 is the opposites. So if your expectation is around really enjoying routine, then allow in the opposite, that maybe it will be restrictive. That whatever the opposite is, if you're nervous about or really hating the idea of having to make school lunches every day, invite in the opposite, that maybe you could become imaginative about them, whatever the opposite is. That's round 4. And then when we get to round 5, we're going to let all of that go and we're just going to be with the present. Because in reality, what is it that we have been doing? We have been looking back and making up stories about the past. Both, all true, but both either focus on whatever way we're attached and ignoring what we're not attached to, or we're looking forward to the future and again, having expectations and missing the opposites. Whereas in reality, we are neither in the past nor in the future. We are actually just here right now. Here, right now, doing nothing but listening to my voice, maybe doing 12 other jobs at the same time, maybe thinking about actually taking a moment to sit and do this practice. And so that is the fifth one. So the 5th round of our square breath, of our 4x4 breath, is just being present. Just being present, just being present, welcoming everything, all that is present at this moment. That's the practice, 5 rounds of the square breath or the 4x4 breath. So we're going to inhale for 4, hold, pause for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4, round 1, and then repeat that 5 times. I'm going to guide you, as always with all of these practices. Take your pace at your time. Because I am overlayering, I will be calling out what we're calling in at any time. If it suits you, work with it. If it doesn't suit you, just ignore it and see how you get on. You can use this practice as often as you want, in as many different ways as you want. Have fun with it.